Hello, and thank you for joining the Monday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, Nigeria Air Force pilots eject to safety as Alpha jet crashes after coming under enemy fire in Zamfara State. Federal government places Lagos, FCT and 5 states on red alert over COVID-19. Recommend preventive measures for safe Eid celebration. And later on the show, power generation improves to 4,823 megawatts. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Paul Dada. So if we are ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Whether by sheer luck or faith, the Nigerian military and indeed Nigerians are grateful to God for sparing the life of Flight Lieutenant Abayomi Dairo, who escaped death in the hands of the bandits while flying a Nigerian Air Force Alpha jet aircraft. According to the Air Force Public Relations and Information Director, that's Air Commander Edward Gabwat, Dairo was returning from a successful mission between the boundaries of Zamfara and Kaduna states when the aircraft came under intense enemy fire, leading to the crash. But the pilot was able to successfully eject himself from the aircraft and find refuge in a nearby village. Before we go on, here is Dairo walking into the loving arms of his colleagues, led by some military chiefs after his rescue. What a great honor. Flight Lieutenant Abayomi Dairo, and received by the Chief of Defense Staff, that's the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Air Staff himself. And Julie was just telling me if it were to be another country or another, Julie.
In America, the president will be there to receive him. I appreciate the
Commander-in-Chief.
Yes, I've seen that happen. When an American fighter pilot was fired at during the Bosnian War and he ejected to safety. The rebels were looking for him, they looked for him, but they couldn't find him until the Americans came to take him out of the location. At the Air Force base, the US president was waiting to receive him. It was a great day, you know.
It's also a great day for Flight Lieutenant Abayomi Dairo. It's quite, what he has done is quite commendable.
Yes, this is the training. Fighter jets are the aircraft designed to have these parachutes that we eject to safety.
Just to sometimes
one pilot. You know, like this one, the Alpha jet now is the only one.
It's the only one.
Know? So once it's designed for you to eject to safety, once you come under enemy fire, your plane has received a hit. You just have to eject to safety before the plane explodes and call for help immediately. And that's what he did. And the Air Force Special Forces, they moved to the location. The Nigerian Army too, in the area, the boat worked, and there was the fighter jet above the area, monitoring the area to ensure that the rebels do not come close. You know, once they got information about the location, they then sent the fighter jets to go and secure the area, ensure that these guys do not come close. And Dairo himself has said that the presence of the Nigerian fighter jets effectively kept them at bay. They will have
because I wanted to ask you that immediately ejected those bandits, they will know he's still around within the radius of that place.
Yes.
And they will look for him till they get him.
Yes, because for them to have successfully fired at the Alpha jet, it must have been flying low within the range of the anti-aircraft gun. So many of the modern aircraft of today will never be as thick as the sides. They protect the sides a lot. So they too know the areas to target, you know, when they want to bring down a plane. My fear now, which I believe we need to address, is if these guys have succeeded in bringing down a plane, this is an Alpha jet, once they have succeeded in bringing down a plane, it will encourage them to continue to try. And we have been killing them in hundreds in recent times. The Air Force, they said that the president gave them the marching order to bomb these guys anywhere they are seen. So they are going after their locations.
I think it was coming from
camps.
one of those.
Yes, they know their camps. I've always said that we know where they are. So now they are facing the heat. They want to do whatever it takes to stop these attacks on their positions. So I just hope that the Tucanos will come quickly. Even this Alpha jet, as I've said repeatedly on this program, Alpha jets have been decommissioned. The rest of the world, they are not using it. But it has taken the ingenuity of the Nigerian Air Force, and knowing that we don't have enough, to do their best to still keep this fighter jet flying. The Chief of Air Staff, Amo, was an Alpha jet pilot and instructor. So they found a way to keep it flying, and it's a good thing that we have kept it flying. But
the parts will not be available like that.
The more we acquire more sophisticated weapons, that the spears are available, that have the capacity to evade some of these ground-based weapons, honestly, the Air Force will be able to deal with these guys decisively without any fear that their airplane will come down.
Paul, we've been losing these fighter jets. We've been losing them. I think this is like the third or fourth one, and a lot of people will want to say that, oh, since we are complaining that we don't have enough, this is another loss. But thank God for the keeping and protecting the life of Flight Lieutenant Dairo.
First, let me also thank God for his escape and eventual rescue. But for me, what happened here, okay, shows that there are some realities staring at us, staring at our faces. One of them is that bandits, not only Boko Haram, bandits have the capacity to bring down fighter jets. That has been established with what has happened. It also shows that bandits, it reinforces the fact that bandits have no regard for anybody. Okay, they have no regard for the military, they have no regard for the political institution.
They're now emboldened.
Exactly, they're emboldened. They have no regard for traditional institutions. They would, if they see a vulnerable traditional right, they kidnap. Now, it also shows that bandits will do whatever they have to do to secure, to defend their own territory, the territory which they now regard as their jurisdiction. And they will resist any attempts, you know, by the military, by the authorities to attack their territories. Now, which reinforces the need for us to increase the space and intensity of attacks. Yes, we are all aware of what is going on. They've been attacking them and they've been recording successes. So it is now incumbent upon the military authorities to up their game, and they have to do better than they have been doing.
Julie, according to the Air Force Director of Public Relations and Information, that's Air Commander Edward Gabwet, He said that it was coming from a successful mission, and we're told that since last week there have been consistent bombardment of Zamfara and some other these other states. And when I read about it, and I said, look, it's what we've been clamoring for on this program. That's look, and we're almost getting there. It's not accurately reported the number of casualties that these guys have been suffering, but I know with more intensity we'll get there.
No, we just have to continue and not be worried about what has happened. The more we attack enemy formations, the more we should expect things like this happening. America loses far more airplanes than we lose. If you look at the ratio of American airplane losses vis-a-vis the number of sorties against the enemy, it is very high. It is quite high. They lose equipment, they lose men. So Nigerians should know that these sort of things will happen. It could be an accident. In this case, we cannot say, oh, this was due to mechanical fault. No, it came under enemy fire. So the more you are attacking them, the greater the chances of things like this happening. Let us accept that in warfare, these kind of things would happen. I know that Nigerians don't want to hear that, we have lost a soldier, we have lost an airman. But these things happen because the enemy too is not relenting. The kind of money that these bandits have, they will be able to buy some of the Soviet weapons that they require, because a lot of the weapons that come into this country, through the porous borders, unofficial channels, they are from the Soviet Union and let me just say the Eastern Europe. A lot of them. There are some NATO weapons too that are coming, but largely they are the ones that these guys use. And as long as we fly in dangerous areas, and sometimes you have to fly low to deliver your weapons and be certain of the accuracy of the weapon, then enemy fire can happen. Remember some time ago too, in Borno State, there was an helicopter that was fired at. Yes, they brought down the helicopter and people died because the helicopter naturally will fly low. But this is a fighter jet. They can fly at high altitude. So, but it is not as modern as the modern propeller aircraft like Tucano, the Super Tucano, for example. So we are clamoring for unmanned area vehicles, the drones. The drones will still do the job that these fighter jets do, and they are unmanned. So the risk of losing your pilot is not there. One of the things that we must do is do our best, reduce the rate of fatalities, because we have some excellent young pilots, and we must not let them. Most of those boys are in their 20s, Yes. I've gone on missions with these pilots before. I see small boys, 27, 26, So we have to do our best to protect them, because their morale is high. Things that you and I think about, they are not so concerned. They just want to do their best for their nation, and we must do our best to not demoralize them. So it's not a question. The competence is there. They have the best training. Even the Americans reckon that in this part of Africa, our Air Force is extremely competent. They have capacity. So it's just that, okay, these accidents will happen here and there, and I know that the men will not be they won't be demoralized, but no, at least we must learn.
About Diary is alive.
Yes,
he will tell.
No, he will be able to tell the story, and his colleagues can learn from this.
Momo is calling us from Lagos.
Hello, Ayo, good evening.
Good evening, Momo.
Babajide, good evening.
Good evening.
And our brother here, good evening. Congratulations once.
Yes, we thank God.
Yeah, we thank God. Babajide, I appreciate you so much. I'm looking forward to meet you one day. Because once you come on TVC, I watch you over and over and over. I always want to listen to you and every other gentleman there. Babajide, you'll be saying something all this while. They should take this war to the enemy's front. Go down to their roots. We know these people know where these people are located.
Yeah.
Take this fight to them. If you don't take this fight to them, these things will keep on happening. One, Babajide, if you listen to our leaders today, they don't talk anything concerning this bandit. They don't care about these killings that is happening around. All they care about is Party A, Party B, either PDP, APC, or this. These are the concerns they after. People are dying every day, Babajide. As I speak to you, people are dying every day. Every day. And here we just sit down, they just come and tell us politics, and everybody goes back indoor and we start looking again.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for calling.
I don't think it's true that they don't care about whether people are dying. Maybe the methods are not delivering the right results.
Exactly my
And
thoughts.
you can even inform Nigeria that Nigerians that they started doing something and
They are
the war is
bombarding
ongoing.
them. Those guys are
It's
dying.
just
They are dying.
Yes, it's
A lot of
just
them are
I
dying.
think
reported
if
as-
they are working,
Let me
we should
tell you,
acknowledge them. We should acknowledge the fact.
there is a bandit leader called Turji. They went, arrested his father.
Yes.
Turji got
He's on
angry.
rampage now.
Turji, no, he has released the people that he picked up. Turji got angry and started kidnapping people. He said, why should they pick his father? That his father is not the one who committed the offense, that they should come for him. But he has released those people, and his father too has been released. These are methods by which, okay, it may be unorthodox, but in the end, he was forced to release the people he was holding. So we have to sustain the momentum. And I'll suggest, I'm happy, 3 states, the Air Force has been attacking 3 states consistently. Kaduna, Katsina, and Zamfara. We are saying that even the North Central, Nigeria's #1 state for kidnapping, has to also come under the radar. I know that they've done some work in Niger, but it's not enough. Those little boys that were taken away from the Quranic school, they are still there, about 150 of them. They are still there. So, so we have, by the time they release those boys, a lot of them will be malnourished because they won't be able to eat good food. We have to sustain the momentum. President Buhari knows that even if he builds rail tracks in the sky, if he does not solve the security problem, by the time he leaves office, everybody will be talking about security. It's not, this is something that is easy to predict.
They don't want us to talk about it.
No, they are wasting their time. They can abuse me all day.
They don't want us to talk about
but by my nature, why do you even call someone Otitoju and you expect that I will not say the truth? And then I'm a disgrace if I can't say the truth. So the truth is, if he does not win the war, people will not remember the great things that he's doing. He has to win the war, and I can feel it now that the president, because even the Air Force people admitted that the president told them, go and finish off these guys. And we have to do that.
I like that.
Yes,
The action is what we'll be clamoring for.
that's what we want.
Many times here we have lambasted them for not doing enough. So if they are doing something, I think we should acknowledge it. We should acknowledge it and encourage them to do more, because clearly we see that they are working. And then from that press statement, I like what the president actually gave them, that marching order. Now, if President Buhari is now up to the task, I mean, if it's looking like it's up to the task, you understand? We should recognize that. We should recognize that. It shouldn't just be
the armed forces should carry out his instructions.
Exactly, they should carry out instructions.
The army, the air force, the navy carry out his instructions. Now that we have confirmed that he told you to do it, the president said anybody carrying AK-47, fire at him.
Exactly.
How many times do they take on people that they see with AK-47? So sometimes too, we can't simply blame the man. He has given an instruction. Go ahead, implement his directive to the letter.
If they are not implementing, they should also query them.
All right, the country belongs to all of us. If they fail to do it, then they are not up to their jobs.
We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the impending 3rd wave of COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria. Please don't go away. It's your favorite news and current affairs program reaching you live from TVC News, and I still have in the house BKO himself, Babajide Kolade Otitoju, and Paul Dada. Following the impending third wave COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria due to confirmation of the Delta variant, Lagos, Oyo, Rivers, Kaduna, Kano, Plateau, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, have been placed on red alert by the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19. The chairman of the committee and the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said the red alert signal is necessary considering outbreak of the Delta variant and rising cases of infections in the country. He also warned Nigerians to be mindful of possible wider spread of the virus as they celebrate Eid-el-Kabir on Tuesday and Wednesday. Hence, the need for multiple entry and exit points, as well as hand washing and temperature checking facilities at Eid-el-Kabir prayer ground. Babajide, this is just a message that the celebration tomorrow should be on the low key. People should avoid this big prayer grounds across the country and these Durbar festivals that they have in places like Kano after the celebration that should be played down. Even though in the southwest here, the Oba Sikiru Adesina has cancelled the Ojude Oba for this year.
Yes.
It's a yearly thing that they do after the Eid-el-Kabir. So Ojude Oba has been cancelled so that contact will not be there. The Delta variant, very, very stubborn one, and it kills faster than the first and second wave that we've experienced. Yes,
there are many reasons we should be really worried. This variant that originated from the Indians, but the Indians don't want us to call it the Indian variant. And the world had to accept to call it Delta variant because the Indians said they were being stigmatized. But the thing actually has its origin from their country and has killed so many people in that country. We have to be worried. We really have to be worried. For the first time in a long time, America lost more than 1,000 people in one day again. So this COVID-19 has not left the world alone. Anyone who thinks that we have come to the end of it must be a joker. It has not left the world alone. Now, I will advise states that have shut their yes, and this one needs oxygen a lot. So where you are running short of oxygen, you can be sure that this one will kill people because once it attacks you, within a short time, it's done so much damage, you now need oxygen because it attacks the respiratory system. You need oxygen rapidly. That is why once the Indians were short of it, it started killing them like flies. So I will advise states that have shut down their isolation centers that this is the time to begin to reopen them. A
lot of these states, they're not taking it serious again.
This particular one does not discriminate whether you are young or you are old. It comes for you. In fact, there is evidence that more young people have been attacked by this one. And in terms of transmissibility, its own rate of transmission is the highest. So then, apart from that, the infection rate is high. Now we are running out of resources. I said before that a place like Abuja, for example, including the satellite towns and the federal capital itself, Abuja municipal itself, all of the bed spaces available are now up to 30,000. So, and Abuja has a population of 2 million. How do we deal with the situation if the pandemic were to enter Abuja? So, in terms of infrastructure, we are just not there. We cannot deal with this situation. And the cheapest way to deal with it is to obey those safety protocols. As you can see, Nigerians do not even want, there are many Nigerians who still deceive themselves that this thing is a joke, it does not exist. Something that science has shown to us that it exists. that has killed more than 500,000 in America.
Out of
people will
God's
sit here.
infinite mercy, we don't know how we escaped.
Yes, and our weather, and of course our weather.
And our weather, I don't know, because we don't have the facility to handle this.
Now,
Okay,
the concern is that it is beginning to rise. There is a signal that a lot of us are ignoring. Once you have more than 200 cases in a day, as we have seen now, we are beginning to have more than 200 cases in a day. That is a clear signal, because I don't think that we are even testing enough. It's like we have stopped testing. So if within the limit of the test that you are doing, you are already recording 200 and something cases a day, then we should be worried. We should be worried.
Dada, I don't know. People are leaving Lagos. They are going to, celebrate. And people are even going to, from Abuja, they are going to their stations. At the end of the day, when you see this movement, this is the fastest way to transmit it. If you want to bring it back to Lagos, if you want to take it back to Abuja from your villages, now we cannot stop people from going to for the celebration tomorrow. But
can only advise.
Just caution. Just caution should be applied.
If we are going to win this war, because it's also a battle, it's a war against COVID-19. We will need the cooperation of people. People need to just reorientate their minds. Before I came here, one of the offices I went to, I was talking about COVID-19, and one young man who should know more, a supposedly enlightened young man was like, I cannot contract it, just like that. That kind of attitude is representative
of the language of faith.
Exactly. What you have.
I cannot.
And he killed. Remember that Cameroon pastor that killed? After he said it did not exist.
I think people need to understand what is going on. Within the first 13 days of July, we had over 1,200 cases. 1,249 cases of COVID-19. The Lagos State Commissioner for Health said that within 4 days, we lost 4 persons in Lagos. That means every day between July 14 and 17, 1 person died of COVID-19. Now, this Delta variant is very serious. It doesn't even give warning sometimes. You may not even have enough, the fact, they can even test you and may not discover it. That's what people are saying. They can even test you and may not discover it. Suddenly, you begin to, gasp for breath. It attacks your lungs, attacks your lungs directly. And then, Jide said we need, oxygen should be administered rapidly. I say it should also be some people need it in abundance. You understand? People need abundance.
Okay, I have a man of God joining us. Pastor Ben is calling us from Lagos. Hello, Pastor.
Hello, good evening, sir. DKO.
What are you telling your members? Are you telling them their body is the temple of God, so they don't need to take the vaccine, or they don't need to be circumspect?
We have to take it, my brother. We have to take it. And I want. Hello.
Yes,
hello.
Go on.
Hello, Ayo.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead, please.
I've taken my.
Oh, you've taken the vaccine.
My own dose.
Oh, good man.
Good, Pastor.
So please, I want to know, sir. The vaccine. Can you prepare? I'm with you. I'm hearing you.
Okay. What's your question?
So the vaccine.
Let's try and call back.
So I want to know, the vaccine, does it prevent this new Delta pandemic?
No.
It's a very dicey thing. This is very stubborn.
There is evidence that the fact that you have been
vaccinated twice.
Vaccinated does not mean you can't be infected. In fact, the World Health Organization has advised people to still continue to wear their mask and respect all those safety protocols put in place.
Non-pharmaceutical
So the fact that you have been vaccinated is no license to continue to do things that they told us not to be doing.
Honestly.
Go into huge crowds unprotected in any way.
The vaccination is just to reduce the fatality.
Now the vaccination may not make you fall sick, but you can contract it and you can transmit it.
Yes.
You can, because people who have been vaccinated even outside of Nigeria had been tested and they were found to have contracted it in spite of the vaccine. So now you may not fall sick, but you are in position to infect someone, which is bad enough. That's why they are saying continue to use your mask even after the vaccination, and wash your hands.
And we don't even have up to 1% of the population that is vaccinated yet.
Yes. I was just like a drop in the mighty ocean, the number of people that...
But, because not a lot of the states are not doing enough. Now that we have, I think Lagos was doing its best. You know, Lagos was doing its best.
Everywhere, healthcare centers.
But we're not even talking about vaccination. Okay. Even tests. Tests are crucial. You need to test your people to know whether they need any form of intervention. We are not testing enough. In some cases, we are not even testing at all. So people will contract it without knowing. We have to democratize even testing. Make tests easily. Make tests easy.
Testing center. See, Ayo, if we are going to, I keep saying this thing, if we are going to actually win this thing, if we are going to convince our people, we need to engage with certain stakeholders. For example, this the commercial transport operators, they listen to their
they're already packing people like
they listen to their union escorts more than government. You understand what I'm saying? If government says, if government says, don't take more than 3 passengers per,
that will be title.
For example, no, the people that can implement that, people that can implement that
are their leaders.
Are their leaders. I love what that pastor said, for example. Engage some of these religious leaders, because some of the things some of them say is very funny. And people listen to their pastors more than government.
Yes, assistant gods.
There are pastors who will tell you that COVID-19 cannot affect you. You are covered by the blood of Jesus and all sorts.
It's just because they want to be seeing crowds in church. Exactly. It's just as simple as that. It's not.
What do we stand to gain by all this?
No, don't forget that self-interest is the driver of many of man's actions.
But they have electronic means of collecting tithe and whatever they want.
No, they are not convinced that will deliver the maximum potential.
They go outside for checkup. They go outside. They do checkup. We know people that they sneak out of the country. They will check up. They will do everything.
People need to go back to Nigeria.
Some people have even gone outside Nigeria to get vaccinated.
If you are not personally persuaded,
so you can't come back to tell your members that.
Now you can't go to certain countries now unless you are vaccinated. So for these people who junket all over the place, do you think they will not get vaccinated?
No, they will get vaccinated.
They will get vaccinated. Why deceiving their congregation that it's not necessary?
Guys calling us from Abuja to get that barcode.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Benga.
My name is Benga. I'm calling from Abuja.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, I want to comment on the officer that was able to escape.
Your flight lieutenant Abayo.
Yes. In fact, I want to admit him that he's going to be given an award and such brilliant and professional way he escaped.
Yes.
This shows that we have well-trained personnel.
Of course.
Show their skill and whatever at any battle. And also, this also shows that those who are saying that the president is treating the bandit with key gloves now know that these people are being bombarded and being killed. That not that the president is because they are from social area, he will pursue this one in town, in that area, they are being killed and they are being pampered. No, they are being killed in hundreds every day. And that shows that our government, the government should put more effort, because as Gide has said, if the security did not resolve it before it cannot end.
Thank you. Thank you, Benga from Abuja. So ultimately, we just want people to be careful.
Yes.
In the next 48 hours before you come back to work.
So once you start seeing 200, 300, 200 and something cases, we are moving closer and closer back to how things used to be, and vigilance is the key. Then those countries, people coming from those countries, Brazil, South Africa, India, we have to be careful. Governor Sanwo-Olu said 18% of travelers who came into our country between May 8 and July 7 refused to subject themselves to safety protocols, that they dropped fake addresses and fake names. So fake phone numbers. So they cannot track them.
That's wicked.
And subject wicked people. Wicked people. And these same people, you see them, they will go to mosque, to pray. They will go to church to pray and be behaving like they love God.
That's what I'm talking
but
about.
They behave like.
I'm talking about personal persuasion. If you are persuaded that this thing is very dangerous.
No, people coming from abroad, no. The things that people come to our country to do, they dare not do in those Senate climes.
They can't.
Look at those of them, even when we had curfew, they were arrested inside the nightclubs. It's a good thing that some of them missed their flight because they were supposed to go back. Some of them missed their flight, you know. You can't do it. They can't tell you that there's curfew in the UK or this on Italy, and then you refused. It is here that people think that they can get away with blue murder. So people who are based abroad, you can't come to our country,
I'm misbehaving,
trying to take us back to the Stone Age, whereas you are the one who would first criticize the government.
Yes.
I mean, it makes no sense.
The government is not
but you people want to come here and behave like
yes. We were all arrested.
Some of them are based abroad. They can't do it over there. You are coming to spoil your own country. When you get back there, you will respect all the laws.
Odumosu paraded them.
We need to have this.
Common criminals.
Let's have this more of this parade.
Look at them.
We will not learn or change. See this one.
This one walking around with ordinary Neka.
I'm finally on the show today. After several weeks of poor power supply, power generation in Nigeria picked up at the weekend, reaching 4,823 megawatts on Saturday. Data from the National System Operator, an independent unit in the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, show that it is 19.32% higher than the 4,042 megawatts generated on Friday. Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company was the highest load taker with 694 megawatts, followed by Ibadan Disco with 535 megawatts. Babajide, Ikeja Disco.
Yes, it's normal. You know, their jurisdictions even stretches into Ogun State. So it's not
the population they have to
and there's
some
companies, big corporations, big companies that they have to cater for, and those ones they use power. So it's normal. Lagos would always consume the greater volume of petrol in our country and also electricity. So there's no doubt about it. What we want to see is improvement in generating capacity, improvement in wheeling capacity, because it's wheeling capacity that they are talking about now. We have capacity to generate up to 12,000 megawatts. But the wheeling, the capacity to wheel it, the capacity to wheel it is what we need to work on.
Okay,
and then the discourse too have to improve.
Let's quickly pay this bill. When we come back, we'll discuss more. Welcome back. So I think I'm tired of reading out 4,823 megawatts, 5,000 megawatts. In 2024, we are paying 10,000 megawatts. That's not the issue now. What Nigerians want to know that the end users, when are they going to get stability in power supply? Not the capacity.
At this rate,
yes.
Given what we are generating, that and given what the TCN is willing, that they have told us, there's no way at 4,000 megawatts that Nigerians can have stable electricity supply. It's just not going to happen because this is too low. This is too low. We reached the threshold of 5,701 the other day, but to surmount that has been difficult for us. We can't be a giant generating just in the region of 4,000. To even get to 5,000, we do not do it on a consistent basis. We are unable to do it on a consistent basis. And South Africa is generating a minimum of 42,000 megawatts. That's the true giant. We cannot guarantee consistent electricity supply at 4,000 that we are talking about. This 4,000 is too low. It's just too low. And all, even when we are talking industrial development, everything revolves around electricity supply. There are many people who have even stopped using public electricity supply because of the fact that it's not reliable and it's not consistent. So we've got to do a lot to reflate that sector so that Nigerians can enjoy electricity supply. We've got to revive the Mambila project. People keep asking me, but they ask me where are we on it? And the question is, we have not moved ahead because there is even litigation on it. So that litigation is stopping us from moving ahead. And that Mambila alone will give us.
I've been hearing of that Mambila power project.
Mambila will give us 3,050 megawatts. Now we have said that we want to even scale it down. But even when we scale it down, we can still get 1,500 megawatts from that place. That alone, if we add it to what we have, it will be a good improvement.
Prioritizing it. If we prioritize it, there's a way we can get that litigation over with and talk.
It's an issue of money.
Settle out of court, arbitrate.
Baba is not ready to pay that kind of money to anybody.
I don't know. The issue there is that, okay, it's going to be another holiday period now. People will just resign to fate. They are not expecting anything extraordinary from this power. They
will rely on generators. You know, our economy is run by noisy and smoky generators
everywhere,
and it's shameful because we are just like what Yoruba will call omole otonjegwero. You know,
son of a meat seller.
Meat monger that fits it. Yes, thank you very much. Because if you are looking at we depend mostly on gas. You know, we have these 28 stations, and then you have 25 depending on gas, 3 depending on hydro, and then Nigeria has the largest gas reserves in Africa, and I think the 7th in the world, 7th largest in the world. I think we are still. That's why
we have a big corporation like NLNG.
In July, we lost, in March rather, I think we lost 6.8 billion naira owing to gas sufficiency challenges. What is the problem? Why is it that we can't, we don't have enough gas to supply?
They are owning gas company.
Exactly. And even then, even when you transmit, when you generate and transmit, even the discos don't have the capacity to take all you give them. You understand? There has to be a way. Some people have even been advocating, looking for alternatives. I know somebody who used to advocate jatropha plants. How you could generate.
No, we need to begin to invest in those mini grids.
Off-grid.
Solar. You see some of the universities now, private universities, they are not on public electricity.
So they
install many grids.
And there are organizations who can even help their community. They are
actually those rural communities.
Exactly.
We can give them those solar power, electricity through solar. Give them, they will pay, and they will enjoy it. Look at what we are doing in some of the universities now. Unilag, all of them, they are installing off-grid power solutions in those places.
It will be connected to the national grid.
Yes, no, they are off-grid, and people are enjoying it. People are enjoying it. So that is, and it's clean. It is not subject to any form of pollution.
So what kind of investment, any kind of investment, whatever it takes to replicate that across the country?
We need to do that. How can Boko Haram go and subject the whole of Borno State, Maiduguri, to darkness?
Imagine
for 2 months, go to 3 months.
They won't be talking of.
There should be alternative to electricity from the national grid.
NCC will not be talking of insufficiency of national coverage as regard the electronic transmission. If we had politics,
that one is political distance. You want us to start that one with them? We will not go to them.
Thank you for that. Thank you for your contribution, and Babajide Kolade Otitoju, thank you for your contribution as always. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. Don't forget to join us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. on Journalist Hangout Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakojile. It's Salah tomorrow.
Yes.
Barakat Salah.
Barakat Salah to all our viewers. We love you. We'll continue to Tell the truth. That's a promise.
And celebrate responsibly.
Yes.
So
Please.
we are going to.
You want the truth, you have it.
Yes, don't worry. Our friends tomorrow will be expecting us after the program. We are going to be here tomorrow
Don't
for the
lock your
program.
gates.
After the program.
Because for some of you, I will come knocking.
You
Don't
come.
lock your gates.
See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.